说中文。
ChinesePod, ChinesePod, ChinesePod. That's the way to learn Chinese. ChinesePod, ChinesePod, ChinesePod. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hi, ChinesePod listeners. We have an elementary lesson for you today. I'm Jenny.
Hey, I'm John, and it's all about cold weather, right?
Recently, it's been cold all over the world.
Yeah, it probably got cold where you are long ago, but we're still talking about it in this podcast.
是的, and you will be hearing words related to this topic. Now, obviously, a very important concept is degrees of Fahrenheit, 对吧?
Right, so we're going to be talking about degrees and a few other very specific weather-related terms.
Yes.
So if you're an elementary learner, this is going to really get your weather language, up a few notches.
对, I think it will be helpful for us to preview a word now.
All right, so what's that?
3度,3度.
Okay, so that's 3 degrees.
是的.
The word for degree is
度,度.
All right, so that's 4th tone.
是.
Now, you're about to hear this in the very first line of the dialogue. You're going to hear the dialogue 3 times. It's not quite as straightforward as you might expect, so listen in.
对话第一遍。
上海零下3度到1度。
天哪，明天这么冷。
是啊，冷空气来了。
那我明天多穿点儿。哎，我的大衣呢？
唉，昨天洗了。
啊，那我明天穿什么？
第二遍。
上海零下3度到1度。
天哪，明天这么冷。
是啊，冷空气来了。
那我明天多穿点儿。哎，我的大衣呢？
唉，昨天洗了。
啊，那我明天穿什么？
第三遍。
上海零下3度到1度。
天哪，明天这么冷。
是啊，冷空气来了。
那我明天多穿点儿。哎，我的大衣呢？
唉，昨天洗了。
啊，那我明天穿什么？
All right, don't worry if you didn't catch all the dialogue. We're now going to translate it line by line and then break everything down.
上海零下3度到1度。
Shanghai, 3 degrees below 0 to 1 degree.
上海零下3度到1度。
Shanghai, from 3 below to 1 degree.
上海零下3度到1度。天啊，明天这么冷。
My heavens, so cold tomorrow.
天啊，明天这么冷。
Whoa, so cold tomorrow.
天啊，明天这么冷。是啊，冷空气来了。
Yeah, cold weather is coming.
是啊，冷空气来了。
Yeah, cold air is coming.
是啊，冷空气来了。那我明天多穿点儿。我的大衣呢？
Then tomorrow I'll wear some more clothes. Where's my coat?
那我明天多穿点儿。我的大衣呢？
Then tomorrow I'll dress warmly. Huh? My coat?
那我明天多穿点儿。我的大衣呢？昨天洗了。
Yesterday I washed it.
昨天洗了。
I washed it yesterday.
昨天洗了。啊，那我明天穿什么？
Huh? Then what am I going to wear tomorrow?
啊，那我明天穿什么？
Huh? Then tomorrow what am I going to wear?
啊，那我明天穿什么？ Now, this lesson struck me for a few reasons. One of them is there are some phrases that might seem straightforward, but actually they mean something else in this dialogue.
Right, so it's very simple language, but there's some things we really need to pay attention to.
是的，
They're interesting and they're also very high frequency.
没错。Now, why don't we start all the way from the top? We heard the phrase 零下3度到1度。
Okay, so first let's take a quick overview.
好
It's a weather report,
Yep.
and they're telling us the temperature range for tomorrow, right?
对 It's the range 零下3度到1度
Okay, so we know du is degrees. We're talking about degrees Celsius, right?
对 Celsius, that's what we use in China.
All right, so when you talk about one number to another number, we use the word
到
okay, so that's fourth tone, dao. So what's the first temperature in this range?
零下3度零下3度
Okay, so sandu, we previewed that word, right? 3 degrees.
对 But what does 零下 mean?
Okay, so ling, second tone, that means 0.
Yep. And 下 means below.
Okay, xia, fourth tone.
对
So ling xia means below 0.
Yes. 零下
Okay, so obviously you put them together and you get
零下3度零下3度
all right, 3 degrees below 0.
Yep.
Now, obviously, the order is a bit different in Chinese, so that's something you want to get right because it sounds strange if you do any other order, right?
是的 So why don't we listen to it a few more times? 零下3度零下3度
Okay, so 3 degrees below 0, 2,
到1度到1度
okay, 1 degree.
是的
So yeah, this is pretty cold weather. And what does the other person say?
天啊 OMG 有点这个意思
Yeah, so literally it means the
Heavens
sky, the heavens. People often translate that as oh my God or my God.
Yes.
However you want to translate it, it's an exclamation of surprise.
Yep 天啊天啊明天这么冷明天这么冷
So tomorrow, so cold.
Yes, which is also an exclamation.
All right, 这么冷.
这么冷 Fourth, neutral, and third tone.
Okay, so cold.
对这么冷这么冷
All right, so the response is yeah.
是啊冷空气来了冷空气来了
Okay, so this is literally cold air, right?
是冷 means cold and 空气 means air.
Is this the equivalent of like a cold front?
对就是 cold front.
Okay, so 冷, that's third tone, right?
对冷冷空气冷空气
So 空气, first tone, fourth tone.
对
All right, now what comes after 冷空气?
来了来了
All right, this is what Jenny was talking about earlier when she said something that seems simple but is a little more complex.
对那来 second tone means to come.
Right. So when you have 来了, what does that mean? Does it mean it has come?
It means it's going to come very soon.
Okay, so maybe it has departed and it's on the way. It's coming.
对对就是这个意思 It's coming.
So when you hear 来了, it doesn't necessarily mean it's here. That would be 到了, right?
对来了 usually means it's on the way of arriving.
Yeah, it has begun to come over this way.
对 So quite often you would hear people say 我来了我来了
That means I'm coming.
对 They're probably saying it to you on the phone. They're not here yet, but they're coming very soon.
They're on the way.
对
Another case you might hear is when you knock on the door of someone's apartment, right?
Yeah, and they're running to the door and saying 来了来了
Okay, or another case may be you're in a restaurant and you're yelling for the waitress, 服务员.
对然后服务员说来了来了 I'm on the way.
All right, so don't be deceived by this very simple combination of 来 and 了.
对好冷空气来了冷空气来了 So we need to be prepared.
All right, so tomorrow, what's going on?
那我明天多穿点儿那我明天多穿点儿
All right, this is also a very Chinese expression that's a little bit awkward to translate into Chinese. So we know that 穿, first tone, means to wear clothing, right?
Yes 穿衣服
Now, when you put 多 in the front and 点儿 after, you get wear more, wear a bit more.
是的多穿点儿多穿点儿
So literally that means wear more clothing.
Yes
But we wouldn't say that in English.
what would you say?
We'd say dress warmly.
Ah.
But in Chinese, you can't say dress warmly, literally.
Yeah, and instead we use this expression 多穿点儿,多穿点儿.
So it doesn't necessarily mean layering up. It could just mean bringing out the heavy coat, right?
Yes. And also, this 多什么什么点儿 is a very useful pattern.
Yeah, it's a pattern you'll hear a lot from mom, right?
Yeah, I think two of the most common patterns is one, 多穿点儿, and two, 多吃点儿,多吃点儿.
So mom always wants you to eat up, eat more.
Yeah, or if you've been to dinner with Chinese friends, they're very hospitable and they would likely to say this to you. 多吃点儿,多吃点儿.
Yeah, that's true. You almost always hear that
对
many times.
And you almost always overeat, 是吧?
If it's good, right? Otherwise, oh, you're full so fast. Okay, so the person is going to wear more, so they start looking for...
For 大衣, which means an overcoat.
Okay, literally it means like big clothing, right?
对, 但是 it actually means a thick overcoat.
All right, so an overcoat. That's fourth tone, first tone, right?
对, 第四声和第一声,大衣,大衣.
And it's kind of interesting the way the person asks for their heavy coat, right?
对, 他说,我的大衣呢?我的大衣呢?
Okay, so they don't ask where is, 在哪里. They ask using na.
No. And this is the second point that I was alluding to earlier. I think many of you might have come across expressions like 你呢, using this na, but here it's doing something slightly different.
All right, so let's take a look at that. When you're exchanging pleasantries and you say, I'm fine, Nina, it's kind of like, what about you?
对,
How about you? What about you?
是的.
Here you're like, what about my coat?
我的大衣呢?
So what you're saying is, I'm looking for my coat, I can't find it.
And you're implying, where is it?
And you wouldn't say this to someone who isn't at least a little bit familiar with your coat, right?
Nope. And you wouldn't say it to someone who is not clear of the situation, of the context either.
Right, okay. So you're kind of reminding someone about something that they know about and
对
hoping to get more information on it.
Exactly. And also here, the two of them are engaged in a conversation about cold weather and dress warmly. So obviously they know what each other is talking about.
Okay, so the point is there is some common knowledge, and it's just bringing up this other topic.
对，好，我的大衣呢？我的大衣呢？
Okay, so what happened to the heavy coat?
昨天洗了，昨天洗了。
Okay, so yesterday I washed it.
对，洗第三声 third tone means to wash.
Okay, and then of course this brings the new problem, which is...
那我明天穿什么？穿什么？
Okay, so what will I wear tomorrow when it's so cold? How cold is it? If you forgot, we're now going to listen to the dialogue 3 more times.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to ChinesePod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the ChinesePod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, ChinesePod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the ChinesePod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
对话第一遍。
上海零下3度到1度。
天哪，明天这么冷，
是啊，冷空气来了。
那我明天多穿点儿。哎，我的大衣呢？
唉，昨天洗了。
啊，那我明天穿什么？
第二遍。
上海零下3度到1度。
天哪，明天这么冷。
是啊，冷空气来了。
那我明天多穿点儿。哎，我的大衣呢？
唉，昨天洗了。
啊， 那我明天穿什么？
第3遍。
上海零下3度到1度。
天哪，明天这么冷。
是啊，冷空气来了。
那我明天多穿点儿。哎，我的大衣呢？
唉，昨天洗了。
啊，那我明天穿什么？
All right, Jenny, I've got a little story about learning Chinese that I'd like to share.
Oh, we'd all love that.
Okay, so this was in Shanghai. I was still learning Chinese. I had already started dating the woman that I would later marry.
Oh, how
And
sweet.
yeah, and I was at my apartment and I called her and I said, "Are you coming?" Because she was driving over. She was gonna pick me up. We're gonna go out to dinner.
So you asked her, 你来吗？对吧？
I forget what I said, but her response I remember very clearly. She said, 我来了.
Oh, now
And-
that's the 我来了 we encountered here. 冷空气来了。
Exactly. And at the time, I didn't know the difference really between 我来了 and 我到了.
So you were not clear on whether she is at the door or she's on the way.
Right. And it was in the middle of winter. It was very cold. And I thought she meant 我到了. So I was like, okay. So I got my coat on and I went outside looking for her. And she wasn't there. So I'm thinking, okay, she probably meant I'm there, meaning I'm about to arrive. And so she'll be here any second. So I just started waiting and waiting and waiting.
How long did you wait?
Maybe 5-10 minutes. And I called her and I was really mad. I was like, where are you? You said you were here. She's like, I said, 我来了. And I am on the way. I'm almost there, right? And so that was totally my fault. And I never forgot this point.
See, it all worked out well. You will never forget this.
But I made another mistake, which was I dressed too lightly, right? I didn't wear a warm coat. So of course, when she arrived, she gave me some advice.
And I'm sure she said, 你多穿点儿，多穿点儿.
Yeah. So that was a hard lesson for me.
So did you write this lesson? It sounds like something out of your life.
I didn't write it. It's one of those like magical synergies that happen on the ChinesePod team, I guess.
Yeah, and we've got lots of synergies with our users. So if you have any questions or stories that you want to share, you're very welcome. Please go to ChinesePod.com.
All right, we'll see you there.
再见.
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
1357.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/1357 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/1357.